Let's go over the definition of art licensing. And I will read this and I will explain it as we go along, and then I have an example of how this works. You are granting permission to another party to use your content on a specific product in a specific territory for a specific period of time for a specific amount of money, usually in the form of royalties. Now that sounds like a loaded sentence, but let's break it down. What you are doing is you are saying to another company, I'm giving you permission to use my artwork, a specific piece of artwork, that you're going to put on a specific product, like say a coffee mug or a tote bag or something like that, in a specific territory that's geographic, for a specific period of time and for a specific amount of money. Very simple, straightforward. So here's the example. You are Susie the artist, and you have granted permission to the big coffee mug company to use your content, and in this case we're going to call it the Sunny Sweet Cupcake art, and you're telling them that they can put this on this specific product, and that's latte mugs. They can't put it on anything else without your permission, just latte mugs. In a specific territory in North America, in a specific period of time, and that would be, say, 3 years, and for a specific amount of money, in this case, a 5% royalty on wholesale sales. So what in essence you are doing is you are telling the big coffee mug company that they can use your Sunny Sweet Cupcake art on latte mugs in North America for 3 years with a 5% royalty on wholesale sales. In other words, you are renting them the Sunny Sweet Cupcake art for this period of time in this geographic region on these products for this amount of money. And why would an artist want to do that? Well, several reasons. One, it's a way for you to have your work on products that you cannot or do not want to manufacture yourself. Manufacturing can be very expensive and distribution is a huge issue. So if you want to get your work on more products than you can produce in your own studio or through a print-on-demand, this is a way to get your work on more tangible products out in the marketplace. It's also an opportunity to generate additional income beyond what you're doing now. Many artists have a hybrid career, and this is one piece of their income. They might teach, they might have an Etsy shop, they might do editorial illustration, but licensing can be a piece of the whole pie. Licensing can help you grow your name and reputation in other markets than you are currently working in. So it can really enhance your other efforts by having product out in the marketplace. It makes everything grow. If people see your work in a store, in a retail store, and then they see you at an art fair, they're thinking, oh my gosh, she's everywhere. This is really awesome. And so everything can bubble up because of all of your efforts working together. Okay, let's look at the other side of this. Why would a manufacturer want to license artwork? Well, a couple of reasons. One, it's less expensive than having a full-time employee. There are no taxes they have to pay, and they don't have to pay for any benefits for you. And it also gives them the flexibility to develop new and different looks. Over the years, creative staffs have gotten a lot leaner, and they are always looking for new work that they can't necessarily do in-house, either because of time or their talent pool. So why would a manufacturer want to license artwork? Well, several reasons. One, it is less expensive than having a full-time employee. There are no taxes to pay, and they don't have to pay you any benefits. It also gives them the flexibility to develop new and different looks than their in-house staff can handle, either through time or because of their talent pool. And over the years, the creative staffs have gotten a lot leaner, so they are looking more toward the outside to find trendier or new looks that they cannot handle themselves. It's also a relatively low financial risk for the manufacturer to pay someone on royalties. If the product does well, there's lots of money to pay the royalties. If it doesn't do well, they're not out a lot of money up front because they're paying you based on their sales. They can work with designers that have a track record or a following already built in. So if you have success on another platform or have a large following, they love that because they can piggyback on your other success. And so all of that buoys everything up, and can be more successful for everyone because of your other relationships and your other successes. Now let's talk about why you might choose licensing versus selling your artwork. And when I'm talking about selling, I'm talking about a piece of artwork that would still be used on some sort of product as opposed to selling a painting to an individual, but why you might consider licensing your artwork. So let's go through the licensing side first. Generally in licensing, you're going to retain your copyright. As I explained earlier, when you are, in essence, renting your design to a company, you are saying to them, you have the right to use this artwork on these products with all of those parameters, but I retain the copyright as the artist, and then they just have the right to use it, but you will retain your copyright. You are able to maximize any opportunity that you can on a wide variety of products. So if you are working with someone that makes coffee mugs and you want to work with someone that makes tote bags, you can do that. You can maximize your opportunities. So you can be getting royalties on tote bags. You can be getting royalties on the coffee mugs. You could do a t-shirt license or a giftware license or something like that. But as long as those people are not competing with each other, you can really maximize your opportunities for a single piece of artwork. Theoretically, you could generate income over a long period of time. If you sign a license and the product does really well and it stays on the market for a while, you could be getting royalty payments for years to come. In fact, I do have some royalties of some products that have stayed on the market a while. Now, in the retail market that we're in right now, we don't have that expectation as much as we used to, but things can stay on the market depending on what kind of product it is. One of the downsides of licensing is that if the product doesn't do well, like we talked about earlier, you could risk the income of you going, okay, I'm going to roll the dice on royalties and I'm sure it will be fine. But that is the downside to licensing, that if it doesn't sell well, you might not make a lot of money on it. Okay, let's look at selling. Sometimes when you sell a piece of artwork to a company that's going to put it on products, they are going to want to have the entire copyright, meaning that they would buy your artwork and they can put it on anything that they want to, and you no longer have rights to that design. And that is not necessarily a bad thing. It depends on the deal, it depends on the scope of that, and there's a lot of details to that. But it's not always a bad thing to lose your copyright. It usually has to do with how much money they're going to give you and whether it's artwork that is not that important to you. The other thing about selling is you get paid in one lump sum and you don't have to wait for the royalty stream to start. And that's fine. I mean, I totally understand people need to pay their rent and, pay daycare or whatever that is. And so sometimes getting the money up front is just fine with you. And by selling it for a flat fee, you are also means that you're paid no matter how the product sells. If the product tanks, you still got the money that you agreed to. Now, the other side of that is you always have to, if the product is a really huge seller, sometimes that hurts a little because you're thinking, oh, I could have gotten more for it if I'd only done a royalty. But sometimes you make the decision based on the circumstances that you know about, and then you just move on. And like I said, this is a very broad brush of the difference between licensing and selling your artwork. And there are a lot of nuances to these decisions. And as you get more understanding of the business, maybe get some help in the coaching or the legal side, or you work with an agent, you can start to see how you can decide which is the best thing for you. You can't really know that until you're sort of in the business and knowing what the opportunities are for you. I know that was a lot of information that we just went over. So please bear with me. You might want to re-listen to this section of the class or go through the entire class because it all will start making more sense to you as you build on your skills. So let's go to the next lesson.